This is Lorena, and this is April. Hi, I'm Cristin, and on this channel, we talk about long distance relationships. And on this episode, we are going to take a closer look on the life of people who grew up with a parent or parents who are overseas foreign workers, or in short, OFWs. So I'm going to call my very own sisters to ask them about their experiences. If you're someone who has an overseas foreign worker dad or mom, this episode is for you. Come on, let's go give them a call.
Hello.
Hello!
Hi guys, it's Cristin Cares calling.
Hi, Cristin. Thanks for having me here in your show.
Thank you for having me as well. So let's get it on.
All right, let's get it on. So let's get started. Can you guys introduce yourselves? Tell them your name, your age, the country that you're in, or the country that you're from, and then any fun facts about you. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Lorena. I'm Cristin's eldest sister. I'm from Canada. I'm 44 years old. Fun facts about me. I love chasing waterfalls. I love hiking. And I love outdoors. I think that's it. That's the all fun part about me.
Well, I'm April. I'm Kristen's older sister. I'm 42 years old and I love the water. I love going snorkeling. I love going swimming and I chase beaches. If my older sister chase falls, I chase beaches. I'm scared of heights, so hiking is not my thing. I have to prepare like my heart before I go climbing or hiking. Anything to do with heights, I need to prepare myself for it. So I'm more of a water girl. I jump anytime in the water, in a heartbeat. I do that. I'm from the Philippines. We have 7,100 islands, low tide.
Okay, so we're gonna start with our first question. How old were you guys when Papa started to work as an OFW or overseas foreign worker?
I think we were 5 and April was 3. I'm not really sure about the age because, yeah, we're pretty young when he started going out of the country to work. So, yeah. How about April? I don't know. Ask your other sister if she
I
can
don't know.
remember.
Ever since I could remember, ever since I was like, I think 4 years old, as far as my memory takes me. As far as I know, Papa was already working abroad as early as 4 years old.
Right.
So there you have it.
How was life like for you guys growing up with an overseas foreign worker dad or a dad who was never present?
Well, because we were pretty young at that point, I couldn't remember anything. But as we get older, during high school or elementary time, it's just like we're used to having just one parent.
Mm-hmm.
But the struggle is after that, or after adulthood, when you start to realize well, I need a dad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I couldn't remember anything because we were still young, but maybe April has more memories about it, even though
Yeah,
I'm
I do.
older.
I actually do. I don't know about you, but I do remember like every year. It's as if we have a guest every year. That's how I see it. Because he
Yeah, that's
gets to
true.
come like once a year for 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like having a guest. That's how I saw it. Because we would do all the preparations, we would have parties when he was here. So it's like a guest for a month, for once a year. It's like a 1 month celebration. Then after that, you're left with one parent again.
Yeah, I think I remember when I was young, there were always boxes. Like I just remember always having care packages or balikbayan boxes as we name it in the Philippines. And that's the earliest memory I have of my dad. Like that's what I remember of him. So I remember seeing him, but I don't really remember hanging out with him growing up with an OFW dad. And I didn't really see it as something different. I thought it was normal. Maybe because I grew up in that environment. And yeah, it's different seeing other kids with dads. I mean, when you have events at schools and then your parents come there and like you just have one parent. So for me, that's like one of the I guess struggles you can say. But I really thought it was normal, so I didn't really think of it as something like I was struggling with up until I got older when I realized that I only had one parent raising me. So did you guys encounter any struggles along the way since Papa was like gone for about 20 years?
I didn't think of, struggles because we were used to having just mom, right?
Mhm.
And mom pretty much feel that spot where dad is not there. So no struggles when he was away,
Mhm.
but definitely there are struggles when he came back. That's for real. That's for that's what it is. That's what's happened, right? When you're really away from a parent for a long time and
Mhm.
came
Yeah,
back,
yeah.
a different person, and you don't know the parent.
Yeah.
That's what for me. That's what it is.
I guess yeah, you're just so used to having mom and how she runs the entire household. Then here comes dad, he's all of a sudden different, it takes some time. You need to adjust a lot because like if you're just here once a year for 1 month compared to 11 months of just mom,
Mhm.
it's very different. I guess him being away, I'm really not sad when he was away. I was sad when we were bringing him to the airport.
Right. Yeah.
I remember that. I remember that. But when he's away already and you're done already doing your drama after bringing him to the airport, I guess it's all good. And just like what, Ate said, the struggle was felt when he came back permanently
Mhm.
because we really had to adjust to him permanently. And we're all grown up when he came back. We were not kids when he came back. So
Yeah.
it was so much different.
You're right. I agree. The dynamics in the household really changed when Papa came home. And same, I felt the distance between him and I, especially because his love language is not the same as what we grew up learning, which for me, I think
Mhm.
it's time and touch with Mama. Whereas with Papa, he's very different. He's really aloof. He's like a little distant. It's hard to, have heart to heart talks with him or get an embrace from him because that's just not his love language. So it was a little difficult for me as well. Growing up with a dad who doesn't speak the same language as my mom in terms of loving. And so, in that note, let's move on to the next question. So, what do you guys think are the effects of experiencing life with a long distance relationship family member? Would you say that it would worsen or better your adaptability when it comes to LDRs? Like now looking back, do you feel like you have more practice because you had a parent who was gone this whole time, or are you worse than before?
Well, adaptability. I guess you know what, being in a because I have a husband that's in the military, right, and I'm in the military too. So there are times that we're away with each other when somebody has to go for a course or stuff like that. And same thing as dad, right? Adaptability is a very useful right now
Mhm.
because I'm used to having somebody's away and adjusting to it. I guess for me, it's more of a advantage. While your loved one or family's away, you're just there patiently waiting, do your thing, and then it can still do stuff like that. I can adjust. I'm resilient.
Yeah.
So for me, it helps a lot, and that's the thing that I want to teach my kids as well.
Mhm.
And I believe being adaptable to every environment that you have or every situation you have makes you a stronger person.
Mhm.
It will also help you to be independent in most of the time. So for me, that's it. I mean, it's more of an advantage for me.
Right. What about at the April?
Well, yeah, adaptability wise, OFW kids are very adaptable to being alone
Yeah.
or being independent. I would say if there was a good thing that we got from that, it would be independence,
Mhm.
right? Because you
Mhm.
guys are all not here and I am here. So, right?
Yeah.
So that's how adaptable we are. But if I were to choose it for my own relationship, I wouldn't go long distance,
Mhm.
I would choose it differently.
Yeah.
And I guess that's my point.
Mhm.
I know how it is. And it's for me, I had enough of it, long distance relationship. I think I've had enough of it.
Mhm.
I'm not saying it was bad for me. It's just that it's not my choice. If I were to choose, I would want a relationship that's right here and right now
Mhm.
rather than a long distance one. So if I were to choose a husband, I wouldn't choose a husband who's always away.
Yeah.
No, I would choose someone who's always beside me. And as you can see, I'm a work from home professional. So, although I'm very adventurous as well, I love to travel. But when it comes to relationship and family life, I'd prefer to be together rather than far apart.
Mhm.
I guess you go closer in that manner. You know,
Yeah.
it's a matter of preference, but adaptability wise, yes. Even if you're alone, if you're an OFW kid, here you are. You know, everybody's having a hard time with pandemic, and here we are. It's just like a regular day in our life,
Yeah.
right?
Everyone's basically dealing with long distance relationships now that COVID
Yeah.
is there. But I could relate to the both of you in a sense because growing up with one parent and my dad being away for most of the time while growing up, it gave me, I guess, a sense of a better way to cope. So when, say, I would have a romantic relationship and we were to face long distance relationships or LDR, I wasn't shocked or I wasn't scared by the thought because I was already used to it. So in a way, I was able to cope with that pain, as others would say. And that struggle was kind of normal to me when it presented itself. So I guess you can say that I am still open to it. I am adapted to it. But like what Ate April said, I do like for them to be near me, but also relating with Ate Lorena, I'm okay if they're gone for a while. So there's that. There's some pros and cons with it, but I think for the most part, I'm a better person because I was able to experience it. And now that I'm faced with this fact and the whole world is faced with this fact, I'm better able to cope with this struggle or this LDR or distance thing. So at some point, did you wish that dad or papa didn't have to work abroad, or were you fine with it the whole time?
Yes and no. No to the fact that I could have had two parents taking care of me. I mean, I am still wondering how it feels like to have mom and dad
Mhm.
together or experience their dynamic together,
Yeah.
right? And yes, I guess if he didn't go, I don't know if I'll be able to study without, having a struggle to get my own money to
Mhm.
send me to school.
Yeah.
So I guess it's both yes or no for me because they have both pros and cons, which I think being away is a benefit for the family to stay on that norm level that we are comfortable living in a country, in a third world country, of having everything. No on emotional thing, right? Like what would be like if I do have two parents present at the same time. But because now as an adult, I see it more of an advantage because it brought us to where we are right now.
Yeah.
Wow. If you're an OFW kid, if your dad is always away from for work and you get a mom who's always oriented you of the situation. At a young age you get to understand. It makes you mature earlier, if you have an OFW parent or an overseas Filipino worker parent, just like your dad. Yes, his work was very helpful, and financially, it was really helpful.
Mhm.
If I were to choose, if it was easier, if it was a country that was open, because you've been there, right, Christine? You stayed with them for some time.
Yeah.
As you all know, guys, Christine is like 13 years younger than I am, and she's most of the time carried by mom wherever my dad is. So compared to her and us, we have experienced a longer amount of time being OFW kids,
Yeah.
right? So relationship wise, with if your parent is always away, you don't get to build a close relationship with the parent who's away. But financial wise, as young as you are, you get to understand how difficult your life is financially. You
Yeah.
become aware
Mhm.
at a young age. So you try to understand. I guess that's the advantage, the financial one, the maturity for kids. Their parents make them realize that it's important to work so that we can have the life that we have.
Yeah.
No, we might not be rich, not as comfortable,
Mhm.
but we graduated college without having to work, right?
No debt.
Without having to work, without loans.
Mhm.
Yeah, without loans. But in reality, other countries, they put their children to college. They just put them there, but the government is the one who pays for college, and then at the end of the day, they have loans.
Yeah.
And the three of us, we don't have that.
Mhm.
We don't have that. So it's part of the comfort that came in with our father working abroad. It comes with that. And for the Philippines, for you to study in private school, it's a privilege. It's not really your right. If you want it to be your right, you go to the public school,
Mhm.
because the government offers that, not the private school. So you see, it's a big thing that our parents or our father is working abroad so that they could provide a better life for us as they believe it to be better for us.
Yeah.
So educationally, financially, it's good, but sometimes you get to think if relationship wise it's good. It's really hard relationship wise.
Mhm. Yeah, actually, I also want to just piggyback off of that thought as well, because I would, for me as a person, I would hope for him to be there much more than just a month. Like, yes, I would be fine with him working, because definitely him earning money abroad in Saudi Arabia and earning reals compared to pesos was greater than what he could have earned in the Philippines. And that definitely have set us up for life. And looking back, we are truly blessed, because look, we don't have debts or loans, and we were able to graduate from prestigious universities that a normal person from the Philippines, or since it's a third world country, not everyone could have it. So in a sense,
Mhm.
I am grateful that he left and he worked abroad, but the back or the behind the scenes there is, I had wished that we had formed a closer bond much sooner than
Mhm.
what we do have now. We are pretty close now, but if we could have, you know tried to get closer together much sooner, it would have been a different type of relationship that we had. So that's
Yeah.
just my 2 cents. So for other overseas foreign workers out there who are, fending for their family, I just want to kind of flip the coin. And what can you tell the parents who are away from their family, or those people that are,
Mhm.
working abroad and they're gone for many years or months? Is there any words of advice or encouragement you can give them, coming from an OFW kid or a child?
Advice that I would give for the parents: kids are resilient, but they still need that basic physical, emotional, spiritual need from a parent, right? For the parents who are coming home, just if they're coming home once a year, don't expect too much of your kid to give you that love that you expected. It takes time to.
Yeah.
It doesn't grow like a seed for a week or two. No, it has to be tended as well. Try to be understanding of the kids that don't reciprocate the love right away.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be it has to be watered like plants. They need those basic needs as well as a kid. Try to understand them. They're also growing, and be more like a parent. Like, support them in any way that you can, not just financially, but call them always. Call them, try to communicate with them at least once a week, or call them, just ask them how their day went.
Mm-hmm.
If communication is not your love language, try to find ways that you can fill that gap to make the relationship work. So yeah, for me, I would advise parents to be more understanding of their kids, be more loving, try to find out what your kids love language, and try to fill it up, so that at least you lessen the gap between your kid and yourself, and make that space more closer to each other. And continue to pray for them, even though I know some people doesn't believe in prayers, but for us, when we were growing up, we know that prayer always works. So one thing that you can give to your kids is to pray for them.
My advice for the parents when you come home, don't go cleaning the car, don't go fixing the roof. It doesn't make sense for the kid, when you come home. When you come home, you make time for your kids, talk to them, build something, right? Take time to build a relationship, get to know your kids. Remember, when you get old, it's not the house, it's the kids who will love you, right? It's not the car. The car won't drive you when you're old. It can't drive on its own, right?
Mm-hmm.
You spend time with your kids. Really spend time, quality time. No, don't tell them I'm
I
spending
agree.
time. I'm here. No. Don't focus on the car. Don't focus on the house. Focus on the kids. Focus on your wife. Go out. Build memories together. Because at the end of the day, even if it's raining inside the house, when you're having fun with your dad or your mom who are OFW, you're gonna remember that,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're gonna remember that. For the kids, try to be understanding, more understanding of your parents. They're not perfect. So are you. You're not perfect as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kids, you're not perfect as well. You think it's a problem. They're adults. You'll also have the same problem when you grow up. Don't tell me that you're gonna understand them when you're just old enough. No, even if you're kids, you're smart and you can understand your parents. You know, grow a little faster because you're an OFW kid. No, just a little bit. It's not gonna take anything away from you. And finally, for the families, you know, value time and
Right.
memories together as a family. You know, not just the money, not just the advantages of having enough money to spend, even just the presence. Enjoy each other's presence. No, I guess that's it for OFW families and kids.
Thank you. Actually, I also want to add more on to what they said, just really quickly. We probably don't say this enough, but for those of you guys who are watching this channel, who are OFWs or working abroad to fend for their families, we just want to thank you because maybe you don't hear this from your family or your kids or the people around you, but we want to thank you for all the hard work that you're doing. We do acknowledge them, even if there's a part of us as kids that want you to be with us, but we do know that you have a responsibility over us. That's why you took on that role. And for those who are kids that are, having this space where you're like, I don't even feel close to my parent. Like what both my sisters said, just be patient with them, have the understanding that they're doing this for you at the end of the day. So it's about selflessness and it's about love for the family and for the better of the whole unit. So before we end the show, we just want to ask you for the season finale of Cristin Cares Calling, any tips or encouragement or inspirational words that you can give to the whole LDR community or everyone who's dealing with long distance relationships?
Tips is be patient, and every sacrifice there's a reward. So for me, I believe that love conquers all. So love will put you guys closer, even the space or the time or even the distance
Mhm.
cannot do anything if love is in between those two people.
For those in a long distance relationship, you know, have faith, have hope, and never lose love. Faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of this is love, you know.
Yes,
When
amen.
you have love, you get to understand the person more. You get to understand your situation more. When you love, you learn to trust. Trust your partner and trust yourself. Don't go crazy thinking that your partner is doing something bad, you know. It doesn't help. It doesn't help to listen to people who discourage you. It doesn't help, all right? Be in a community or a group of people who encourages you. And if anything goes sour with the relationship, if it's, you know, a long distance one, at least you have your sanity intact because you have people around you who supports you and love you. So just have faith, hope, and love that everything is gonna go well.
I agree with them. And for those who are watching, we just want to thank you guys so much for all 1,700 subscribers of you staying tuned in Cristin Cares Calling. We really appreciate you subscribing. And hopefully, all the content on here can help you in your LDR. Share it to your friends or your family who is experiencing this as well. And now that we're ending, we hope that you still stay in this community and let us know in the comments below if you have any questions about anything in the LDR at all or even about faith, and we'll answer them for you. And also, if you guys want more content with me and my sisters and you guys have any questions about siblings dealing with LDR, let us know. Maybe we can have season 2 of Cristin Cares Calling. And as always, I will see you later. Bye. If you are tuning in the show and you have experienced long distance relationships when it comes to a romantic partner, family members, or friends, I hope that you were able to pick up something from the show. And yes, we have come to the end of our series called Cristin Cares Calling. And from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to thank you all so much for sticking around and watching the whole entire show. If you're interested in seeing more Cristin Cares Calling episodes, let me know in the comments below and maybe we can have season 2. I've really enjoyed this time spent interviewing everyone from the LDR community, all the way from episode 1 up until episode 10. And for those who stuck around from the very start to the end, thank you guys so much for being so supportive of this cause. And like I said from the start, this was made for the LDR warriors. So keep on fighting the good fight. And I hope that everything that you've seen here was able to encourage you at some point. But let us not get too dramatic. I'm not leaving or going anywhere. We're still going to continue the channel and of course produce more LDR contents and faith-based topics. As you know, right now we have a series ongoing called Ghosting Away. If that is something you're interested in, I will leave a card up here so that you can watch the whole playlist. But if you're more interested on the faith-based topics, I have a new series prepared just for you guys. Hopefully we'll be able to launch it this April, and it's gonna be called Your God's Best. In that series, we are going to talk about everything faith and long-distance relationship subjects and even online dating. I'll also have a special guest, so stay tuned. Once again, if you find value in this show, consider subscribing to the channel and hit that bell for more long-distance relationship topics. And as always, I will see you later. But if you're more interested on the faith-based, once again, whoa. The family. Once again, if you find value in this channel, consider subscribing. Mali. I'd like to thank you all so much from the bottom parts of my heart. Is that right?
That's that. Blah, blah. Ikat mo na lang yun.
Ano naman yun eh? That's a way. I will see. Ang gugulo.
2 lines
Yung
lang.
ma-relate?
April, short but sweet.
Hirap, 2 lines. Dapat 5 eh.
Okay.
Go.
Sandali.
So,
Huwag ka
ulo
muna
nyo.
mag-end. Huwag ka muna mag-end. Sabihin mo muna. Gusto nyo pa ba ng
Older sister. I'm from Canada.
eldest sister? Eldest sister.
Again, erase.
Again. Rewind. Okay. One more chance. Excuse me.
Cut. Upo mo lang.
Okay na.
Ulit nga yung question.
Kung merong OFW na magulang sa labas dyan.
Sige, okay. Okay. Definitely communication is the best way to, gap the bridges. It's not your love language. I mean, again.
Sabihin mo, bridge the gap, gap the bridges. Gap the bridges. Nalito ako sa gap the bridges.
Cut mo yan. Fill the bridges. Or, again. Okay, again, pangatlo na to.
Ready ka to go.
Dali, tawa muna ako.
Thank you guys.
Baka makatatlo ka din.